Hello everyone, this is RD from Miscellaneous Debris.
Hey, this is Matthew from Miscellaneous Debris.
And welcome to the Weekly Bros. You sound like a weird Simpsons character or something. I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Before we begin, don't forget you can reach us on the Twitters at Miscellaneous Debris. That's 2 underscores, don't you know? RD is at Rockin' the D, and RD and I are available at the Weekly Bros. You can also email us. You can also email us at realweeklybros@gmail.com. Once again, that email address is realweeklybros@gmail.com. I'm Pickle Rick!
I'm Pickle Rick!
So it's starting off on a down note, going right where Infinity War left off.
Yeah, basically, I think it's just like, it's Nebula and Tony drifting in space in the Benatar.
I mean, we see Nebula later on in the trailer, but do you think that she's in there with him?
Well, I would assume so. Let's continue on.
All right, but one thing. Do you think that Tony's line of zero promise of rescue has any reference to Pepper?
No. I think it's a coincidence. I saw Kevin Smith's reaction trailer, and he's like, oh, more on that later. And I think he thinks the same way, like rescue's coming in the form of Pepper Potts, but I want to hope it does not. That's not what it means.
That's the ultimate troll by Marvel. Having the logo get dusted away like that.
Oh, I think
it's just like, hey, remember when we killed everyone? Oh yeah. Yeah, here you go.
Yes, you do. It's actually, I love it. I love how they did that.
So Thanos was walking through the farmland. Two things stood out to me. One is that Scarecrow is right out of Infinity War issue number 1.
Yep.
Thank you, Russos, for doing that. The other thing is, and this is like doesn't have anything to do with anything. If you look closely at that plant that Thanos is walking by, it looks like that yarrow root that Nebula was trying to eat in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that wasn't quite ripe.
Yes. Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
It's not ripe yet.
Yeah, I'll tell you what you lost. You lost the grounds crew because that place looks disheveled.
Lost his beard.
Yeah, exactly. A nice clean-shaven Captain America.
Yeah, so it's just, it's Tim and Widow and Banner, hanging out at the Avengers headquarters, just kind of reminiscing on the past, like what just happened. We just got our ass kicked.
It seems like they were having a good time,
Yeah.
We see Nebula on the Benatar.
And it took me a second to notice that in that scene right there, but she is touching someone's shoulder, which I would assume it's Tony's, but
it looks an awful lot like a strap on Captain America's shoulder.
Right, so is it really Nebula's hand? Is it really not? It's just a little splice there that you kind of make, okay.
Is it really Tony?
Something to think about.
I mean, it could be Tony with a seatbelt on. I mean, that's the only reason why I'm saying that.
Maybe we're going too far into it.
Ronan is introduced in this. Black Widow looking very concerned that Hawkeye may have just murdered a bunch of Japanese folks with a goddamn katana.
It appears he's lost his family, so that's what I would do if I was lose my family. I go underground, go Ronin, and kill a bunch of Yakuza.
Captain America Winter Soldier outfit. Hell yes, that they're bringing that back. That's my favorite outfit that he's ever had. And it's coming out in April. No longer the May release date.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah, no shit. I don't know if I can wait that long.
Well, 2 quick things I just want to point out right now. I love the fact that they moved up the release date, because I was going to be pissed off that it came out like a week after it comes out in Europe, and I was like, the whole world's gonna know.
Yes. I do remember you telling me that, yeah.
And I hate the title. 2 quick takes from RD.
You hate the title?
RD's takes. I do not like the title.
Surprisingly enough, I do not like the title either. See what I did there? Like,
yeah, I watched you do it.
I made you think.
I'm wishing I could unsee what I just saw. I just don't feel like it doesn't flow good.
It's very
Yeah, I'm not impressed with it. I would have rather have seen Annihilation or Assemble.
I would have preferred Gauntlet. I would have preferred Crusade, like Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity Crusade. Avengers Forever.
Well, Forever would have been cool.
Even though I don't like, Assemble or Forever, like, I mean, if it was my choice, I would not name it those, but I prefer those over Endgame.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not really cool on the title, but whatever. I mean, there's going to be elements to the movie that are going to foreshadow later Avengers films or maybe the future of the MCU. And I don't think they want to give that away in that title. So if it was like Infinity Watch or Infinity Crusade, I mean, you can kind of put those pieces together. Even Annihilation, people are going to think of Annihilus. People are going to just project that into the future. Like, this is where it's going to go. And it ruins the movie, right? So
I see.
But that's why I was kind of hoping for it, on the down low. I would have been like to have seen Avengers Assemble. So I think that would have been sweet.
I
But
think that would have been the best one.
Endgame was the that was the initial title that we'd heard back like in the early summer.
Well, that was when the what was it, like some cinematographer or the DOP or something like that posted Avengers Endgame on his resume or something.
Right, yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. Like from that moment on, I think everyone knew it was Endgame, but they just had to
Play damage control at that point.
right.
Well, here's the thing that really bothers me about it. Both the Russos and Kevin Feige came out in interviews and said that the title of the film has not been said in any previous Avengers film. And I realize that they can go back and say, well, yeah, of course we said that because we didn't want you guys to think of the title.
Of course.
I get that.
Are you pissed off because they lied to you, Matt? Are you upset? Are you butthurt? If you sound butthurt, get over it.
The other thing I don't like
What are you whinging about?
is the fact that
What's whinging?
every Avengers film up until now has had a comic book arc to it.
You're talking about the titles, the title of the film.
Yeah. So the Avengers, the first one, that's been a very, very long mainstay comic book arc. Age of Ultron, and Infinity War. Infinity War was a series. Avengers Endgame has never been a series. It's been used for splash pages. It's also been mentioned in comics, but it's never actually been a storyline arc. And I like it when the movies fit those storyline arcs, like Captain America, Winter Soldier, Thor, Ragnarok. I like it when those things have structure because it just gives more validity to the actual comics themselves. And that's just me being a nerd.
I think they were trying to pick something that was appropriate, and I think they were not trying to foreshadow what's coming up in the future. They want the movie to reveal that, not the title of this film. I think that's also why they didn't call it Infinity War Part 2. It's its own thing.
Well, yes, I understand.
So I think, I like I said, those two of my hot takes, and I don't like the title, but that's what it is, and we're gonna go with it. So fine. Game on.
Now that's not to say that I might not change my mind because I am open for my mind to be changed, but at first glance I don't like it. So the end tag when Ant-Man shows up at the facility here. Mm-hmm. Now why don't you tell me about the scuttlebutt that you've heard about this whole thing?
Well, maybe if you can do, what the hell is a scuttlebutt, and then maybe I can help you out there.
Word on the street, rumor, innuendo.
So you're talking about the whole Ant-Man scene. If you look up in the upper left-hand corner of that screen, it does say archive. So is that shot live, or is it from the past? Is it is it recorded in the past and now they're watching it in the present? My initial take is no fucking way, and I'm gonna swear, but no fucking way. I feel like, first of all, he has to know where the Avengers, the facility is, so it has to be after Age of Ultron. Second of all, I just don't believe it. I mean, the whole premise just sounds stupid. Like so we last saw him in the quantum realm, so he had to physically come out like go into a time vortex and come out like in 1985.
Yeah. So
here's a big loop for you. How does the van know it's 1985?
Exactly.
So where does he come out? That's what I'm saying. He comes out. He has to come back out in present time. That is a present shot.
Yes,
and I think
I'm
you hear
100% agreement with you.
Even when Widow was like, "It's the front door."
Yeah.
I think they're saying that he's there now.
Yeah.
At least I'm hoping.
No, I was just gonna say I'm in the exact same boat as you. When I saw that,
yeah,
I didn't see the archive thing. That didn't even come into my mind.
Oh.
I didn't think about it being back in time. So when I started reading that stuff, I was like, well, that's fishy because he goes in the quantum realm. The van doesn't go out. The van doesn't know what the fuck year it is. That van's not gonna be there.
It's like it's like with any story. When you start involving time travel, things get really fishy. And you really have to, suspend your disbelief and just, this is the way things are. And you can't be thinking about, well, how does the fan know about what's going on here?
Yeah.
And, all the rest of those things are happening. I mean, I think like the Occam's razor is like, it's the simplest explanation.
I did love the fact that they framed it as Ant-Man's here to save the day, because who doesn't want to be saved by Paul Rudd? So let's go. Let's deep dive here. Can we deep dive?
We're going deep.
We're going deep. We're going deep.
Why don't you start off?
All right. So first off,
What do you got?
let's start with Tony and Nebula floating out in space there, because I got some,
In
I
the
got some
Pat
questions
Benatar?
regarding this thing. So number one, they mention, food and water ran out 4 days ago, being adrift in space with no hope of rescue. Obviously, the Benatar has no power.
Right.
Now, why doesn't the Benatar have power? Was it damaged on Titan?
I don't.
Shouldn't Nebula be able to shouldn't Nebula be able to navigate and find a planet with fuel? She's an alien. She's traveled the cosmos after all.
Sure.
She knows her way around.
I feel like this is something that's not really important. I'm sure. I didn't think it got damaged or somehow. They took off trying to. Maybe they can make it someplace, and they're not going to do. They also have to like move storylines along, right? So it's a good storyline if Tony's stuck in space.
But I mean, if there's a gaping plot hole in it, as in like his arc reactor that's on his chest, he built one in a goddamn cave out of spare parts. You think that he can't find some spare parts laying around the fucking Benatar to make a smaller arc reactor to power the goddamn thing?
Yeah, he might be. I mean, listen.
I'm just saying.
I
I'm just
think-
saying. That it might be good for
obviously,
storyline, but if there's a huge fucking plot hole the size of New Hampshire, I'm not gonna let it go.
Obviously, this is really bugging you. This has been bugging you since the moment you saw the trailer for the first time. You're like, you stopped it, didn't you? You paused it. You're like, why are they out of power? It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Listen, I mean, I don't know why the Benatar doesn't have power. I mean,
I'm not asking
I've never
you
seen
directly. I'm just
I
saying.
I
the question in
understand that.
general.
I think it's a. Well, man, I think it's a legit question. I think we have some serious concerns here about the validity of the storyline written by the writers and the way that they directed the film. I really don't feel like put this in the trailer is just throwing all fans for a loop here. Like it's like here's a shiny object. Come look at me, and over here on the right hand is Matt.
Don't you patronize me, you son of a bitch.
No.
All right.
Hey, listen. I'm sure it got I mean, I was trying to go back in my Guardians. I thought there was some lines in Guardians where they were Quill was talking about how expensive fuel was, or
Oh yeah,
something
it was
to the
in the first Guardians when they were on nowhere.
Right. Oh yeah, so you believe how expensive fuel is.
Yeah, I might actually lose money on this job.
Oh, that's right. That's what I was thinking of. So I mean, yeah, it could be out of fuel. Let's just. It could be as simple as that.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
Oh, and can I just say like that part where Tony says part of the journey is the end? That's like my favorite line of all the. It means so much. It can be used in so many different ways, but I think Tony's journey is he is the Avengers basically. Tony Stark's swan song. So I kind of get a little bit. No, I'm not crying obviously, but it's a little emotional thinking about that. I mean, this could be the last time we're gonna see Iron Man as we know him.
I don't want it to be. Honestly, like I could live without Black Widow, without Hawkeye. I don't know how I'm gonna deal without Cap and without Iron Man. It's gonna be difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, so yeah, I just feel like I it's a cool line, and I think it's perfect coming out of Tony's mouth.
Yeah, it's very poetic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's move on.
Thanos' armor as a scarecrow. That was pretty fucking dope.
I know we've talked about it before, and I know I mentioned it to you was that you could see that in Infinity War too.
Oh yeah. It's a kind of over his right shoulder.
It's in the lower right corner at the very last scene of the film.
Yeah. The Avengers facility is looking a little worse for wear there. Like I said, they may have gotten rid of the grounds crew.
Well, half of them did die.
Now, piggybacking onto that, Widow states that Thanos wiped out half of all living creatures. Now, tell me I'm crazy because I really want to not get this in my head. That means not just humans. All living creatures.
No, pets are gone.
Okay.
See you later. Bye-bye, pets.
So here's the problem I have with this. And let me know if my logic is flawed. If you wiped out all of half the living creatures, not just humans or humanoids, would that not leave him with the same problem? Because you would be eliminating half of the food sources too. I mean, I'm just... Am I looking too far into this?
We need to have a Avengers Endgame trailer plot holes episode. We can just have like 3 hours of Matt talking about plot holes and like how about this one, Matt? How come instead of killing half the people, how come he doesn't just make more food?
It's a good question. It's a good question.
It's a good. Listen, we can do. I don't like his choices. Obviously, I mean, if you can do anything you want to with this gauntlet, why kill half the population when you can just make 100% more food?
It's a good question.
It's a good question over there.
It's a good question. So let's just move on before I get made fun of more.
Yeah, it's a good question, man. I mean, I really got to think like since you've only got half the amount of people now, you only need half the amount of food to feed those people.
But then you would end up in the same. You'd end up in the same spot.
No, because I also feel like maybe you took out, out of those people, let's say, let's say you lost 50% of the population. Let's say 80% of those people were meatitarians. So now you're left with way more vegetarians than you are meat eaters. So there you go, solution. Plot hole filled.
I'm gonna have to write down and remind myself to look up what a meatitarian is.
People that eat meat.
Oh, you mean a carnivore?
Sure. What did I say? Meatitarian. Oh, you don't know.
I haven't laughed that hard since I was a little girl. Thank you. Bruce Banner, a.k.a. the Hulk. Looking at some data in the Avengers facility.
Yeah.
Saying that Scott Lang is missing. Mm-hmm. Now, Shuri and Peter are shown as well. Did you happen to catch anything? Does it say missing or deceased underneath them?
No, it just says missing for everyone. I think it says missing for all those things.
So what do you think happened to Shuri then? Do you think that she split Wakanda?
Good question, Matt. No, obviously she's missing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, just go back into her lab and be like, hey, what's going on?
Well, the last time she's in Infinity War, I think is it Corvus Glaive knocks her off the whatever, and she falls on the ground. That's it.
Yeah.
So you don't see her after that. So I think the Russos have said that she does live, but where is she? Anyone's guess.
Well,
maybe she
just casual observation.
She went into hiding and decided to become a ninja and kill people.
Hey, just like Hawkeye did, right?
Yeah, but her name is Ronan.
I do like how it was edited together where Cap's speech says, as Hawkeye enters as Ronan, Cap says, we lost family. So obviously you can, infer from, Hawkeye losing his family.
That's what it seems like. I mean, that's probably a safe assumption. He looks pretty distraught. I've got some theories about that, but, I don't want to make this episode 5 hours long.
Do you have anything else to add before I go into my theory?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Let me just add I'll say one thing. The Russos have shown us in the past that they like to play tricks with the trailers. Like, there's things in the trailers that are not really happening. There's, two of the biggest things I can think of is in Ragnarok trailer where Thor has an eye, but he's missing an eye. And then in Infinity War where, you see the gauntlet on Thanos' hand with Cap. And he's only got 2 stones, but he's really got them all right there. I feel like they've put some of that into this, and they do it on purpose so that fucking fanboys search. Yeah. They know they're gonna get searched, and I think part of that could be like Scott, Ant-Man's missing, or Shuri's missing, or Peter Parker's missing, or even that archive footage thing with Ant-Man. I feel like there's things there that they've messed with it on purpose because they know people are diving into this shit. I think that could be what's going on here. Besides that, I mean, I was blown away by the trailer. I just think it's amazing.
Oh yeah, I thought it was an absolute gem of trailer.
I think it's exactly what I wanted to see, and
it was very short and sweet. It was very short, very sweet. It didn't give you anything more than what they wanted you to know.
No, and I don't think it's going to. Well, they do it on purpose. Good call, Matt. Way to point the obvious out.
Thank you.
Like, I didn't want to see Captain Marvel in it because I don't want to know, and I don't want to see her in the next trailer.
Do you not want to see her? Do you not want to see her until her movie comes out?
Yeah, and then I want to see what the next trailer for it.
Okay.
And if the next trailer comes out like a week after Captain Marvel comes out, That'd be perfect. Then you can have her in the trailer. But I don't want to see any scenes with her in that trailer until after her movie comes out. I mean, I don't think it'd be right. Obviously, Captain Marvel, as we all think, she had a big part to play in this film.
Yeah.
And I still think she does. But I think the bigger thing is the quantum realm in Ant-Man. Do you want to see the next the next Endgame trailer? Because we have a name now. We can call it Endgame. Do you want to see the next Endgame trailer with Captain Marvel in it? Without seeing her origin story or anything about her?
I would, but I would like to see that trailer come at the end of Captain Marvel as an end credit, as one of their end credit scenes.
The trailer for the next movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so Marvel.
Right?
Yep.
Now, do you want to hear my crazy, wacky ass Alex Jones InfoWars theory on this trailer?
We talked about it off air, but yeah. Go ahead.
I think the whole entire trailer was done just as a title reveal. I think all the scenes, I don't want to call them fake scenes because they're definitely real, but I don't think any of those scenes are going to be in the movies. Or in the movie, I should say. I think everything was intentional misdirection. It gave us the story points of Tony and Nebula being stuck in space. They're introducing Ronan, Ant-Man escaping from the quantum realm, coming to save the day. You barely have a shot of Thanos on Titan 2, saving on CG costs. You have Cap at his wit's end, doesn't know what to do, and Thor and Banner in grief. It gives you points for almost every single main character in the story, but I don't think that any of this stuff is actually going to be in the film.
You could be right. It could be like the one shot. It's like any trailer. It's got shots that don't end up in the final film. Like that one with all the Avengers rushing towards the screen in Infinity War. Like the one with the TIE fighter and what's her name in Rogue One that didn't make the, I mean, these things happen. And I mean, yes, you're probably right. I think some of these scenes will not make the final cut. I don't think they were all fake just to make for the title reveal. I think it's pretty good though. I'm looking forward to it. I was excited to see it. I'm glad it came out. Now we can, Jones, I've only watched it like every day.
I think I'm up to about 2 or 3 times a day, whether I need to or not, just to make sure nothing changed. And don't forget that you can reach us on the Twitters at Miscellaneous Debris. That's with 2 underscores, don't you know? RD is at Rock in the D, and we are available at The Weekly Bros. You can also email us at realweeklybros@gmail.com. Once again, that email address is realweeklybros@gmail.com. RD, thanks for hanging out.
You're welcome, Matt. Anytime.